Hello everyone, it's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Moriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Nima Akasha Zibiri, how you doing?
I'm fine and grateful to God. I carried a newborn yesterday and I'm just grateful.
Who's baby?
My neighbor's son.
Oh, wow.
She's been waiting and she's had the loss of about 3 to 4 babies at birth. And this one, such a healthy baby boy.
Oh, thank God.
Such a, you know, I just looked at the boy and I was saying to my to Yolu that this baby na Remileku I go call him. Because
yes, so wipe away my tears.
The mom is a strong woman. I would have stopped trying, but you know she continued trying and persevered. And thank God. Thank God. We pray that the baby.
Send our regards to.
Yes, so we pray that the baby knows us, grows old with us, and we know the baby very well, and then that we don't witness the death of any babies anymore.
That's good. How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm grateful to God. Yesterday, I was trying to generate a particular kind of content for people that look rich but are actually broke.
I thought that was funny.
So I now found my mom's lace. And I wore it, the Afro wig, it was hilarious. It was
a comedy skit. It was a comedy. Actually,
that's not comedy.
It was comedic. Yes, it was funny.
Looking like one older.
But you're saying something serious now.
Yes. So I just it was pretty. It wasn't me.
But you passed the message.
Yes. So I enjoyed it, and a lot of people were surprised that. At that look, like they didn't expect me to do something like that. Anyway, one of the things that I'm learning is be free to do whatever you want. As in, like anything, do it. Somebody will not like it. Somebody will be inspired by it. Just be sure you are okay with yourself, and I'm happy about it.
How are you doing, Mario?
I'm doing fine.
I haven't seen you this week.
Yeah, you haven't seen me just Monday and Tuesday.
Feels like a week.
So, you know, our last show the last show I was on Friday, where we talked about I think we had a Liberian actor come in. So we had a we call them Liberians, right? Sent me a message. He says she wants to be kept anonymous because she's quite a well-known figure, but she watches Your View. She lives in the diaspora, and she said that she was 10 when they went through the civil war in Liberia. And she says she would like for Nigerians to hear this when it comes to that, because constantly she's been watching the news concerning Nigeria, watching our show, and we're talking about war. You know, and she says that, I hope this finds us in good health. Every Liberian who experienced our civil war is still scarred by what we experienced. I was only 10 years old. The healing process spans across 3 generations at least to get back to normal. The mental side effect of the civil war is not a Hollywood matter. It is really nightmares, unimaginable nightmares. You know, she talked about bodies just littered around and some of them, you know, in captivity. She said something that when finally there's a breakdown of law and order, that is even your neighbors who hate, for some reason, maybe had some hate for you, that would attack you first. Then the rebels will come. And then all the other countries will block their borders because, you know, they have to protect their own countries. And before, they'll have to now sit down, talk at the UN, and find an agreement to allow you to become a refugee in another country. So please, when we talk about these things, we should remember that this is not a Hollywood matter. It's serious. And we should learn to comfort each other and find resolutions to our problems.
Fantastic. Thank you for reading that. And I think it's important that that was read so people who have been through this experience can share their stories. And thank you very much. I don't know her name, but thank you for sharing your story. That was really profound.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So I had a meeting with Stephen Akintayo, one of Tokwe's mentors, yesterday. I had a session with him, and he encouraged me to start a book. You know, I've been talking about this book. I've had this book in my head for some time, but he's now trying to work with me to write this book. So we're going to be starting an 8-week session where he'll be interviewing me on Facebook, and then the excerpts of that interview would then be converted to a book. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's a good one.
I mean, I was like, oh, am I ready for this? But I have the content. I have been this. I have like 5 books in my head, which I think is important that we share these stories. We need to hear the stories of how things have evolved, and I'm grateful for
especially local stories
of success. So I'm thankful to Mr. Dr. Akintayo for helping to usher me through that, and I just hope that we'll be excited to read this book.
You know, sometimes we know what to do, but we just need someone to hold our hand and show us how to do it. So I think it's a good idea.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We don't have Punch and Nation today. So we'll start with the Nigerian Tribune.
Some other newspaper stories and prayers got
In fact,
answered.
there's even this News Direct that has been coming for a while. We've not taken it. Let us start with it. Did you guys read it?
Yes.
Oh, let us start with News Direct. So they have the floor today. News Direct. We have read your paper today. Disquiet over FG's 2.34 trillion naira external loan request. Lagos government unveils 500 million buses for intra-city transportation. Nasarawa signs 6 billion naira tripartite agreement for provision of 2,000 houses, actually. Excitement heralds the launch of Polaris Bank's digital bank. And Africa Day, Kagame, Okonjo-Iweala, others set for UBA Africa Conversations 2021. Which story do you have in News Direct?
It's the major headline, you know that me.
The 2.34 trillion.
Yes, so the president wrote a letter to the National Assembly to ask for 2.34 trillion naira external loan, in addition to the one previously collected, and everybody's been uncomfortable about it, saying this is one loan too many. Most importantly, because the landscape of how we've been spending our previous loans shows that this one too will not be going into where we generate funds. And the former lawmaker, Honorable Godfrey Ali Gaye, says that it is tantamount to mortgaging our future generation, because this would bring this is $6.18 billion that is being borrowed now, and there was an additional. This is to fund the deficit, not completely a deficit in our budget. So as it is right now, in case you don't know, we don't have money, and we're borrowing money, and yet there's still corruption in the system. There needs to be a holistic overhaul. And the few Nigerians now destroying the few things we have on ground. Please desist. Please desist.
All right. Moving on now to Vanguard. Review NIN policy for UTME now. Senate tells JAM and NIMC. UK will deny visas to Nigerians who disrupt the 2023 polls.
Good.
Sanwo-Olu launches cashless first last mile bus scheme. Strike. Waba dares El-Rufai as governor declares him and others wanted. Ethnic cleansing looms in the southeast. Igbo leaders raise alarm. $700 million looted funds returned in 4 years. Nigeria receives the £4.2 million recovered from the UK, says Malami. Again, Buhari writes Senate seeking $6.18 billion external loans. Okay, do you want to start with the major headline?
Let me start with the major headline. So the Senate is appealing to the federal government to shelve its plan on the NIN policy for those who are writing the UTME exams for 2021. So the policy is that NIN is a prerequisite for you to register and write that exam. The Senator Oba, for representing Anambra South, says that for him, this policy is premature, it's inconsiderate, and compounds the rigor of registration for UTME exams and also the NIN. And his explanation is that, it's quite rigorous to register for NIN. That's one. Secondly, most of the kids are just attaining the age that they can now register for NIN at the same time for when they can register for UTME. So it's just too cumbersome right now as it is. And he says like 2 million Nigerians last year registered for this exam. And with this new policy, it would, of course, definitely drop the number. So we should shelve that until there's, like, first of all, decentralize the process where you have centers maybe close to accredited schools where the students can also register, so it's very close to their school. And when that is sorted, then you can introduce it as a prerequisite.
Okay, I have the Operation Restore Peace to the Southeast. So the Inspector General of Police launched this operation to restore peace to the Southeast. However, this has been misinterpreted as some kind of ethnic cleansing. So I guess it was the way it was said, and lots of various groups have come out to say that they will defend the Southeast with everything, and it's wrong for the IGP to bring in troops into the Southeast for that. However, Senator Nnamani, which I would like to quote, said that using discrete military operation can be misinterpreted to ethnic cleansing. However, it's better they use a carrot and stick approach where they carry along the leaders within to let them know what their plans are, so that if you come with that, stand of we're coming with we are coming to restore peace. It might come across as though it's a shoot at sight, which is what is being told in the Southeast.
We should find a way to merge good intentions, because you have Southeast leaders saying they want peace, and the IG's men are being killed, and police office stations are being burnt. So they should have a sit down and discuss and merge intentions, so that when these things are happening, it's not secrets. What are they calling it? So they don't tag it and then make it fail from beginning. Because when people don't accept it and they start to flag it, people executing will continue to be at arm's way as well. The Sanwo-Olu's launching of the first and last mile buses. So 500 buses and 100 high-capacity buses have been launched in Lagos to help in certain areas. And I like the fact that they mentioned the Mile 2 Marina end of our side of town. So I'm thinking that the small lane, there's this part of the lane that we thought was for the BRT, already being used by the Korokwe buses. I'm thinking that's where the small buses will be now. It will be beautiful and colorful to look at. And the road transport workers have also said that they will help execute and enforce the ban on Okada, so that, they have...
And they also, more importantly, they also said that the ban on Okada is not immediate. It's going to be phased out over the next 2 months. So to give time to people to begin to prepare. I know that eventually this
will be important. My biggest challenge is we launch these buses that cost millions of naira to put together, and we don't maintain them. If you drive, there's some areas in Lagos where you will see moribund old buses. It costs so much money to buy those buses. Can we maintain them so that we don't have to keep rebuying new ones?
But inner roads are a problem. We still have the Alaba, the Teddy Muwo bridge under construction. If you want to execute any free traffic on Badagry Expressway, that road has to work. And that road till date is still under construction for over 8 years.
And if you recall, we had an environmentalist who was reminding us that we need pathways, we need walkways. So if Okadas and if the buses can only take you so far, you would have to walk. So we need walkways across the city. It
has to be seen.
So a lot of things have to be done also.
There's a story I want to take the polls. British, yes. So Catriona Lang, that's the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, was speaking at Rivers State, told the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, as well as the former governor, that they must ensure a peaceful transition within Rivers. There must be a peaceful election. That the UK is not expecting a perfect election, but they expect an improvement, and that anyone found that disrupts the election in 2023 will not be allowed into UK. They're also speaking for, she also asked Wike to ensure that he should leave a legacy of peace in Rivers. There's always bloodshed. Then she now went political, saying that our expectation for the presidential election is that the two parties, obviously the two main parties, should have young presidential candidates and female vice presidential candidates. Now that's the expectation that they would want. And I'm looking forward to how that plays out. We go to UK a lot for help.
It's nice to say these things on paper.
We'll see how it works out.
And we come back, we'll continue with the reviews. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Moving on now to Daily Trust. FG intervenes as El Rufai Labour stick to their guns. Boko Haram exploiting pandemic to push back into Nigeria, says our President Buhari. 6-year-old raped to death in Kaduna. Presence of strange helicopter raises concerns in Niger villages. Judge kidnapped inside Katsina court. Plane conveying Emir of Kano, others makes emergency landing. And 2 soldiers killed as bandits abduct expatriates in Niger. Mariam, you have the human interest story.
Very sad story. A 6-year-old girl, Amina Idris, was raped in Kaduna by unidentified persons in Maraban Jos area. On Sunday, she had gone missing about 4:30 p.m. and then her body was found in the bushes at about 8 p.m. Injuries all over her face. Her family have said that she's also been buried on Monday, according to Islamic rites. Her families have said they've forgiven and handed everything to God. But thankfully, Hajia Raibi Salisu, she's the founder of Arida Relief Foundation. She's decided that she's going to take this up until justice, is served. And we remember in Kaduna State, I think 2020, they had passed bill to support the surgical castration and death of anybody found raping children below the age of 14. So we just hope that somehow this family will get justice.
Man. You're going to talk about the judges?
Yes, a judge in Katsina State, a Sharia court judge, went to court at 3 p.m. and some, abductors came in, shot into the air and abducted him. Now, in the story I read through, because, Jusun is on strike, to see exactly what he was doing in the court premises. Maybe non-official work was what took him there. They have their offices there. But he was abducted within the court premises from his own chambers in Katsina State by abductors who whisked him away, and his whereabouts is not known now.
So it was completely empty? There was no one there?
Eyewitnesses were there. They saw the encounter, but he was the only one taken, and they are giving the report. It just worries me that there's really nowhere safe. We've had nobody.
This next story in Daily Trust really, really bothers me, because the community in Niger State have reported to PR Nigeria that a white helicopter has been hovering around certain villages between Kondagora and I think Mariga axis. And this white helicopter lands consistently on a plain surface upon the mountains, dropping stuff for the bandits. And I wonder, and they've been complaining about this all the time. And it says moments after that helicopter leaves, within that period, the attacks happen.
They're fortifying them.
So therefore, why is it so difficult for us to, first of all, trace where that helicopter is coming from, how it's being fueled? Don't we have airspace monitors knowing how, so anything can just fly in and out of our airspace?
Like that.
So this is quite bothersome.
Yeah.
we
are reporting it as it's happening, not that we're reporting it as they found out and have arrested them and prosecuted them.
They haven't done anything.
They haven't done anything.
And it's landing.
And dropping out
and the information has gotten, this is not the first time it's getting to the news.
PR Nigeria.
Yes, this is not the first time it's getting to the news. It's gone to the news before that they are being sustained by helicopter bringing in ammunition and food for them. So this is not the first time, yet it's happening again and nothing is being done. So that's why people say that there are people...
Of the airspace, I think in Zafar Katsina, when the president said the airspace, and now it's happening in Niger. What is the Nigerian Air Force doing? Now, then, if you answer this question.
Exactly. Please, I want to talk about my Farmers Association. The CBN is answering them back. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele was launching the next level of wet season of the aggregation and flag off of the 2021 wet season input distribution in the southern western geopolitical zone. So he said that he's addressing the concern that some people raised that the funding from the Anchor Borrower scheme is going to a particular region of the country, and the country and in the southern part are not getting. And he said specifically 300 billion naira has been disbursed to southern farms. He mentions the companies in Lagos, Edo, Ondo, Ogun, Osun, Ekiti, and saying that the stakeholders should realize that the funds are going round and that they should do their part to be involved in the agri sector, that there is no partiality in terms of funds being disbursed. So I hope this puts it to rest.
Okay, moving on now very quickly to Daily Sun. Buhari seeks France help to fight Boko Haram. 2023 UK cautions against flawed election in Nigeria. FG suspends issuance of passport booklets till June. IGP launches Operation Restore Peace in Southeast. Oduduwa Youth back Southeast president. Nigeria's debt to hit 35.243 trillion as LG seeks another fresh $6.1 billion loan. El Rufai brands Labour leader bandits and says they are wanted. Okay, which story are we taking in Daily Sun?
I want to take the passport. So, as announced by the Minister for Interior, Mr. Rauf Aregbesola, the controller of immigrations have suspended production of capturing for passports in June 1st. This will help us clear the backlog of over 244,000 awaiting booklets that were not printed for people who have already done their capture and who are still waiting. This is a very sensitive matter. Some people are criticizing it to mean that they don't want us to travel, that they are holding us back here for a reason, but I believe, because I have reports, people asking us to discuss this on the show, it's becoming hell to print Nigerian passports and renew your passport here. So I think it's a welcome one. And I want them to please clear it. Let's have it printed here, and so that we don't have backlog issues anymore.
Yeah, so it's important that Nigerians understand it, because now I notice almost everything that is being said by government is given a twist.
Yeah.
So this is just to clear backlog. It's not to keep us in the country whether we like it or not.
But it achieves the same results.
No, but that is not their aim. But by June, it will be open.
So people are trying to process their documentation to leave Nigeria, and they need the passports.
But if there's a backlog, what will happen?
We have to wait for 2 weeks.
Still wait for a backlog again, please.
Okay, let us. I was going to take the story. Our president is talking in France now. Even though I don't read that story, he's saying that because of COVID-19, the bandits are pushing back, and they also took advantage of the pandemic to actually increase their attacks. And they would need France's support for intelligence gathering, as well as also see if all African countries can come together and seek help from other Western powers like the US, UK, and Europe. And so that's pretty much what he was saying, that they need help.
So you see why we did not read it.
France can help us catch the plane that is dropping weapons.
They'll give us intelligence. Okay, bye, nothing.
The one that the citizens have given us and we have not responded to.
Okay, is there any other story? Let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. Okay. It's annoying now. Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Kaduna thugs attack Labour. El Rufai sacks. You're not talking about El Rufai, our governor. Okay. Let's find a story we've not taken. Reps to probe customs over alleged killing of 5 Oyo residents. Let's find a story we've not taken. Ogun governor suspends aide arrested in US for alleged $350,000. We'll take that in our hot topic. Asaba declaration. Afenifere knocks northern governors over stance on southern colleagues' position. Okay, let's take the
House of Reps.
House of Reps, yes.
So House of Reps are plan to investigate Nigerian Customs Service for the death of 5 persons in Iseyin, Oyo State. Iseyin, Oyo State. So we remember during the Salah break, Customs, they said they were chasing some people in an SUV, and in the course of doing that, they shot at some individuals and 5 people died. The Honorable Shina Pella was the one that raised this motion, and he says that he's really concerned about the recurrent indiscriminate killings of innocent Nigerians by the Customs Service. And so the House is also saying that it shows total negligence, abuse of authority, gross misconduct, and also just disregard for human lives. So they're saying they're going to invite NCS so that, first of all, they also talk about what form of compensation will be given to these victims and their families, and also how they can make sure that, there's a 40-kilometer out beyond the border that they are meant to stop their activity, that make sure that they follow what the Constitution lays concerning that.
All right, let's talk about Kaduna for a minute, because, what's happening there is actually not funny, because the governor of the state has declared the NLC chair as wanted, and other major organizations like the NUPENG are all threatening to also join the strike. Quite a number of others have already joined the strike, and they kind of put the state to his knees. And some have described this as 2 men ego tripping, because the truth is that these are people's lives we're talking about, and it's only right for these 2 gentlemen, that's the governor and the NLC head, to sit down together and have a conversation. Because what you're doing is showing us how to solve problems. By this grandstanding, by both of you, you're teaching us
your ego is not what
that ego supersedes the real issues. And what we'd like for civilized people to do is have a conversation.
There were 3 protesters yesterday. So the NLC protested yesterday in Kaduna. Thugs came in to stop that protest. Then citizens were also protesting the hardship that they had suffered because of all the parastatals controlled by the NLC that's shut down. And now the governor's response, rather than dialogue, was to declare the NLC president wanted for economic sabotage. He said he's wanted for that, and that, all these, himself and other association heads that are supporting him. Now, you will have Labour threatening the entire nation to shut down, even to Lagos. That's what they are trying to do to respond. So what we have here, what we are seeing here, we don't need it, really.
Instead of selfless service, leadership.
Colleagues, the NGF, and even the APC heads have all asked the governor, maybe it's time for us to step down. Both of you need to just calm down, because obviously we don't need this at this time. We're still trying to solve issues of insecurity in our country. So both of them need to really tone things down and have
this money you don't have. Because now you have declared all nurses from level 14 downwards sacked.
You sacked them.
For being part of NLC and the strike. And does it just happen like that?
Two wrongs
if
don't
you
make
sack
it right.
somebody, is the person entitled to anything? What do you call it? Relief, payoff, and all of that? Or you just sack people and they just go to their houses? The hardship that is on ground already, how do you buffer it when you... What is happening exactly?
Okay, we have to move on. Unfortunately, I think we're out of time. It's 9:30 already. That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, our next hot topic is quite interesting because it's important as your view for us to continually share with our viewers reasons to be proud as a Nigerian and also show them the ways not to go. Because when we saw the story about Invictus and Hush Puppy, we took those stories just to reiterate that these two people are not who the Nigerian citizen is. So recently, when we saw the news of this young man, Mr. Abidemi Rufai, when he broke the news yesterday.
Former SS.
Is he former? No, he's actually still
Yes,
suspended.
suspended.
He's suspended.
So as of today, you say.
He's not yet former. He's suspended.
Okay, they have not sacked him.
So the point is, let me finish. So when we got this news, it was important. Now, he's been arrested. He hasn't been convicted. And we're discussing it because we wanted to have a conversation to remind Nigerians that there are better ways of doing things. That yes, there are people who flash wealth in our faces and they buy G-Wagons, buy houses in Banana Island, and we think they are the role models. Yes, I want to be like XYZ. Not knowing that XYZ is doing other things behind. So it's important that when we see these kinds of things, we bring it to the fore and have a conversation to remind ourselves that, listen, step by step is always the best way to get to that success. What are your thoughts when you heard about, now for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, there's a young man, Mr. Abidemi Rufai. He's currently the special advisor to the governor on, I think, housing. And he's been recently suspended because of he was arrested in New York for, I think he was stealing from over 100 unemployment funds.
COVID relief funds.
COVID relief, thank you, Nima. COVID relief funds from 100 American citizens. And he's been alleged to have been the one who stole $350,000 out of $650,000 that they are trying to look for. So your thoughts on this, because it's important that we always remind ourselves that life is not always about just amassing wealth, and no matter however way you can find it. Let me come to you, Nima, on this.
So when I saw this story yesterday, hashtag on Twitter, I felt, I don't know how we lost it. It used to be also convenient. It used to be popular to live simple, and that is simple. It's no longer popular anymore. How can you just be living? I knew my uncles who were well respected by families, and their house did not pass their room that they were living. Because truly, you will not even sleep beyond one side of your bed. They lived like that. They died, and they were not thrown on the streets. They were buried honorably, whatever way you would call it. They were buried. And I just grew up now, and everybody it's about what you have, the car you drive, and all of that. This thing is just all in our face. This person now has what we would call track record. He's a youth member of a popular party. He got, appointed to a special assistant to a governor. He even contested at some point. This person has money to dole around, and nobody's asking, where do you money from? Come. And the country that arrested this person is not Nigeria, so we cannot be saying nobody's rich hunting. They made sure their work was done, and they just escorted into the airport and said, go, return money, or you do a trial. We're waiting for that trial, but most likely we'll get a conviction. We did get one for Invictus. Hush Puppy now, no matter the team of lawyers is put together, he has not seen light. They put him in they opened the darkest of corner to put him.
Hey, how do you do that?
Yeah, that's the way it is. Because of the magnitude of, this kind of crimes.
Right.
And people taking from people doesn't represent Nigeria. We're not Yahoo, we're not 419. That's not who an average Nigerian is. Yeah. I don't know anybody that kept their property that is missing, come and find it in my compound. It's not possible.
Okay, let me talk to your thoughts on this.
So, it's so sad. I always feel very, very sad when people that have become pseudo role models in our society, we find out that there is a stench beneath all the glam, which is the way this is. Bank records show that between March 3 and August 2 of 2020, $288,000 was deposited from multiple sources into an account in his name.
Hallelujah.
So it's the... And that's why I'm always preaching legitimate wealth. Like, there are legitimate ways to grow wealthy. They will not be lavish. And if you check his page is now private, but if you check before they closed the page, people that munched, he was a lavish person. And he came to Nigeria, contested for, to be a member of the House of Representatives. He didn't get that position. Of course, then he got compensated with another position. Why don't we ask the right questions from people? When you ask how this person made money, they will not... Even if you ask, they would witch hunt you for asking.
They say you're jealous.
Yes, they will witch hunt you for asking. And the root of this, let me take YK stance, is the way politics and the way leadership runs in Nigeria, where you see political leaders who had nothing before going into government move from 3-bedroom, and it happened in Mile 2. We had a councillor that was living with his parents in a 3-bedroom flat, became a ward councillor. And the next thing, he bought house, moved away from that place, bought a house. How do you go from there to, how much is the salary? What are you doing? Governance. So that's the thing. We see that lavish, everybody is now aspiring for living the lavish lifestyle without understanding what is funding this and what's your good name. And I'm happy that this one will investigate and find out the truth.
So there are pictures that show some of his tweets and some of his motto, and one says that the choices you make ultimately your responsibility. So you take responsibility for the choices you make. And I'm happy that America is a country that allows you to make your choices, but also makes you face the responsibilities. Because we have here in Nigeria where it seems that people will make some bad choices, but sort of get away with it.
Yeah.
You would be a fraudster, a scammer, hiding in America, but you come to Nigeria and you'll be so bold and confident to throw your wealth. For what? I'm looking at him dressed like a Roman emperor. I mean, you still had earned money. Like,
people.
To come and do what? To buy cars, to build houses?
Yeah.
For what?
Show off.
It's just so embarrassing, disgusting. I know Abike Dabri also said, she tweeted quickly that this person does not reflect who we are. I know that you're in court, and if it finally finds out that he's the fraudster and the scammer that he is really such a sad thing. And for me, it also reflects badly on the government that he's part of, on the administration that he's part of. Because I remember when Barack Obama was running for president, he took a picture with somebody that they said he was a criminal of some sort. He had to prove to them how he knows him and that he had never collected any money from him to be allowed to even go further, because that would affect you politically. We should note also as politicians, as Nigerian politicians, that who you associate with, the people that you know, the people that fund your campaign, it affects you as well.
Let me take this call from Evans as we wrap up. Evans, are you there? Hello, Evans, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I just wanted to comment on this fight case. This is what we are saying about what is happening in Nigeria at the moment and why we should have a think about our elections. We can't spend billions of naira doing elections in this country, and those that spend billions also to get themselves into political offices, then we expect corruption to wipe out. I think in my opinion, we should have a think about the democracy we are practicing in Nigeria. Let everybody think out of the box. We shouldn't allow elections to hold further in this country. We are spending too much. People are desperate. Everybody's going into politics. There are no chances that that corrupt practices will stop very soon in this country will continue this way.
Thank you very much, Web Evans, for your contribution. Yes,
so there's a part of promoting this kind of mentality of, wire. You have it in our songs, and you wonder what the...
wire,
anyhow. You know,
there's one that's in a cutting soap. What does
no,
mean?
That's grace. When they feel that it's grace, you're enjoying that, you're just getting successful at everything. That's the street language for cuckoo cut soap for me. Which soap are you bathing?
I've been hearing that. I don't understand.
But there's this popular one of Kisha Tilowo.
Anyhow.
Anyhow. And you know, this anyhow mentality, people will now use it to justify anything. Imagine mothers, you know, we're taking it when we're in the old studio, before the fire, we were talking about where mothers will justify their children, saying, it's the new way. It's not stealing. They're just collecting back our missing loot.
Can you imagine that mentality?
The days when our mothers used to beat you for coming home with somebody's pencil have passed. They took your pencil, you can take somebody else's, so our mothers now will now allow
they encourage it.
We need to we need to depopularize this thing. And if we have the regulators who will not allow such music go out, whose business is it? When you listen to it, it's not the heat that you should be listening to, the words, the sound. Yeah. Because the more you drum it into a person's mentality, the more the standards drop.
Let's not even blame it on just the music. Let us not make it that the music came and so all of a sudden people heard the music and decided to behave like that. The music is the reflection of what has been happening. You have younger ones that are looking to you, that you are advising them. They think you are nothing. How much do you have? But they look at someone like Mr. Rufai Abidemi and they are impressed by him. He's making a lot of money and they want to do what he is doing.
I'm sure he's spreading the money everywhere.
Unfortunately, we have to run. But you see, it was important for us to have this conversation because we'll keep having it.
Yes.
When more arrests are made, we don't like all these Nigerian newspaper trials where they just say they arrested XYZ and tomorrow he grants bail and then nothing happens. But these international arrests, we see that actually we do get convictions. And we'll continue to talk about it to let Nigerians, because we are role models. People watch us. And we're saying it so that Nigerians and young people know that there are people who make wealth legitimately. We'll be interviewing one after this break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, to juxtapose our conversation about international thieves, our guest is a Group Chief Executive Officer of Oxford International Group, a fast-growing multinational conglomerate with headquarters in Nigeria. She joined the organization in 2018 on the back of a thriving legal career and quickly rose through the ranks to become the Chief Executive by virtue of her shared dedication. Welcome with us, Precious Ogunmichael, PhD. So you can join the conversation on 081-270-53687. You can also call us on 091-390-76948. You can tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your View TVC so we can read your tweets. We love to celebrate people who work their way up. We don't like those overnight successes. We like people who grow. And when we read your profile, that you were a legal counsel, and as a lawyer, you worked up your way to where you are today. Could you give us, in summary, that journey after law school, how you got your first job, and how you were able to make it up to the top?
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to start by saying I'm so delighted to be here. Yeah. I love the work you guys are doing. It's amazing. For some of us that don't have time to read the newspaper, we read it on your View. So it's so amazing to be here. Well, my name is Precious, as you've said. My journey has been quite interesting. Funnily, fast a bit too, as people would say. But then it's been on levels and processes. I was sharing before we got live that I started studying international relations in LASU. However, my dream was to study law, so I left in 200 level and then went to start again just to stay focused on that dream. I finished. However, from school, I found that I had a bias for property law practice, positive bias. So,
we can understand.
You know, that's where the money is. So I've always liked that. And I worked in a law firm, 2 of them, briefly. But, you know, to work in a law firm as a female has its own challenges. You know, you close 11 a.m., then you're in court 5 a.m. It wasn't as interesting as what I really wanted. So I found Oxford. I came into Oxford as the head of human resource, did that for a while. And trust me when I say I worked my way up, I really did, by the grace of God. So it's not been a smooth, easy ride, but then it's been consistency, hard work, and ultimately the grace of God, you know. So we're here today.
Yeah. So, you know, because we're going through your journey, it's just also important to point out that you're quite a a brilliant student. And he even got a scholarship. Because the reason I want us to talk about this is many people go, oh, it's not so important. Education is not, who school help? So in your case, how did school help you?
Okay, if they ask you who school help, maybe you tell them it helps Precious. Because I won't deny the fact that education, you can have two talented people. The person who has education added to his talent will definitely outshine the other. It's a fact, you know. So I would say that education played a major role. Education played a major role. When I was in school, I'm the kind of person, let me say, I was born into a girl child family, 4 girls. And then, you know, there's this mindset, girls, they just end up praying to marry a rich man and just be there. But then I had parents who, privilegedly, I had parents who consciously, you know, told us time and again that you are a girl child, yes, but you can be different. My dad would say, I will raise my girls such that when they sit where men are, you won't be able to, you know, pick out that, oh, this is a girl child. As a matter of fact, he would say men will sit and you will speak. He would always say that. So my mom too raised us with that consciousness. She raised us with such dogged, you know our mothers now, avaras and all of that. It helped to shape us, you know. So when I was in school, I couldn't settle for the less. My elder sister was equally brilliant. Is brilliant. She's a medical doctor, by the way. Wow. So I would see her waking up in the night, soaking her legs in water, reading. So I picked that up, and whenever I get to any class, I would look at everyone and say, I'll be the best here. And that has been the drive. Sleepless nights, candles burnt. On the long run,
been through the grind.
On the long run, really worth it, I must say.
The price.
Yes.
So I'd like to take you back to working your way to the top, because I read your CV, you're very learned, like you read, and you've already broken down that journey. But many people feel like there's a lot of sacrifice for women. We make too many sacrifices as a family woman and building a career. What was that journey for you? What were the sacrifices you made? And what were the compromises, if you had any?
Okay, I would say for a female CEO, a female managing director, whatever, you have to do twice as much the work that a man does. It's a fact. Because to whom much is given most times. I've had the first law firm I applied to work. The lead counsel looked at me and said, we don't hire women. They give excuses, they give that. And I said, no, I'm going to change that narrative. And even while I was in school, I'm sure you read at some point, I'm a very spiritual woman. So I was sisters coordinator. And I used to have this program, The Balanced Woman. I believed, and I still believe that as a woman, you can be a balanced woman. When you come to my house, I relate with my family like I don't have a job. And then when I'm on the job, I relate as though I don't have a family. So I get things done. And trust me, it's not really easy. The grace of God wants. Secondly, you have to pay the price. I don't have friends. I don't have time. I believe 24 hours is not enough. So if I have 1 hour, I put it to good use. So it's all about balancing your time, planning your schedules, and, you know,
before I come to Nima, I would like to talk about, how was your dating? Because did you marry your husband in your success, or was it after or before? How did that happen? Because people want to know.
Okay, that's very key. I started dating my husband when I was 19. I don't know how that sounds.
Really?
I was 19, I was in 200 level. And I met him. His name is Michael. He's my best friend. Apparently, my only friend, if I would say. So we started from the scratch. No cars, no money relationship. You know, we grew together. We grew wealth together. And I'll tell you, I think it's more interesting when you actually start together and grow together. So dating was interesting. You know, we'll go to eateries, buy meat pie, and all those humble beginnings. It was quite interesting. And here we are today. We are happily married. We have 2 kids.
In Ghana.
Breakfast in Ghana,
in
Then go to Italy to charge your phone.
So I read your profile, and I was wondering, which school did you have your BL?
Okay.
And your LLB, sorry. And I wanted to understand the kind of bosses that you had to face. So I had my first experience by the chambers I was attached to. My boss was the most polite person, but would be the least to assign duties. You know, I learned some things, I lost some, and I had other bosses that I just felt, well, let me just go and start a chambers, because maybe I will give myself such chances that, you know, I didn't get. I wanted to know how it was for you relate with them and how you were able to convince them. Because in some establishment, nobody would just give you within that period of time, 2018 till now, the level that you are now. Growth in some establishments is impossible, to say the least. So I wanted to, can you please share that experience? First,
like I said, you said what?
Okay. LLB.
Adekunle Ajasi University. Don't say anything. It's in Ondo State. Yes, the State University. It was actually Ondo State University. Okay. I would say I've had 2 experiences of the boss kind of relationship as regards to hiring a female. The first boss was, I've said it, women, nothing. The second boss, where I currently work in Oxford, is a boss that gives you the opportunity to fly. Male, female, young or old. I'm relatively young, you know, to sit on that seat. My chairman is also relatively young. So when I found my way into Oxford, I found someone who gave me a big shoe and who trusted me enough to grow my legs to fit those shoes. So I started as the human resource manager. I came in, I looked at the structure, I looked at everything we do, and I felt like, oh, we can do this better. Trust me, the grace of God, like I said, is my foundation. However, there is a need for hard work, because I believe to whom much is given, much is expected. That's always my watchword. And then when I'm privileged to sit on a seat, I go all out. I work like, oh, my life depends on it. So I put in, you know, I prove myself.
Precious, let me come to that word you said, work.
Yeah.
Nigerians don't want to hear that. It's just too much
challenge.
work. It's just too much work to work. You know, I want to just snap my finger and become rich. So that corporate circle of monthly salary, does that really bring wealth? I mean, is it other things we have to do to build that wealth?
Side hustle.
Well, I'll say one of the reasons why people find it boring or difficult to work is because they've not really found what they love to do. And they are not patient enough to actually find what they love. Because when I was working in a law firm, core practice, I was almost feeling that way. It was a burden to get up and go to the office. But in this case now, I could work in Oxford without being paid. Trust me, because I love my job. My ear has to remind me to close, you know. So I love my job. I love what I do. So for the young people out there, you need to find what you love. What are you good at? Beautifully now, you can get wealth around anything and everything. You could do beads. Instagram will help you sell out. So there is no point sitting down and being lazy. For some people, 8 to 5 is what they love to do. And they don't find it boring. They don't find it, they make wealth. So you can actually make legitimate wealth. Just sit down. Let me use Yoruba if I may. Farabale, calm down. Be calming down.
Be calming down.
You know, calm down and then put in your best. Bring your A game on the table. And you'll find that, wow, you're making wealth already. In Oxford, we have a room for associates. We call them referrals, where you can actually market some of our products and then make wealth for yourself. The wealth is not restricted. You earn on what you bring. And we have people that earn as high as 5 million, 7 million on a monthly basis. Whoa. Legitimate wealth. Hey. No wiring like you were saying. Nothing like that.
Let me go on a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we still have our guests with us. Mariam had a question.
Yeah, so it says right on your bio that you moved your company from a 1 billion naira company to an 8 billion naira company. And that you have thousands of skilled workers, you know, that work with you. And my question is, we hear every day how hard it is to run a business in Nigeria, how tough it is, how, oh, you cannot trust anybody, how, oh, you start a business, you lose all the money. You're making money, billions of naira. Apart from hard work, I know you're going to say hard work. What other tools did you use and tips can you give to us?
Okay, with a sense of humility, I'd like to say that the profile is not even up to date because as at now, it's actually a 15 billion group of companies. One of the things that helped the Oxford business, we actually started as a real estate firm, Oxford Commercial Services. I would say our breakpoint started when we began business diversification. because we found that there are other sectors of the economy that we could, launch into and also tap wealth. Now we have oil and gas on our list. We have financial services. We have an asset management firm. We have a microfinance bank. We are into education, into fashion, agriculture, ICT, energy, a whole lot more, about 20 businesses. And that really helped us, We have over 5,000 staffs that work with Oxford International Group, well paid. And she asked a question I would like to include in this one. A lot of people complain about not having jobs. You graduate and then there's no job. I want to correct that actually there are jobs. At times, some of the graduates are unemployable. Trust me. I've had to sit with youths and then you can't even write a CV. You can't even answer a question. And I like to say that when I say hard work, I don't mean putting your head on the floor and eating it. I mean, adding skills, self-development is very key. Very, very key. Even as GCE of Oxford, I still, got a degree from Harvard, got one from Lagos Business School. Ordinarily, you feel, you're already on the job, you're already at the top. What else do you want? But I understand that you need to constantly develop yourself. You need to understand the money market. You need to know how to strategically position yourself. And as Oxford International Group, one of our selling points is when we go into a business sector, we don't just go in to get money. We go in to change the face of business in that sector.
All right. I wanted to quickly jump on this unemployable youth. So I find a lot of, leaders in business, people doing amazingly well, say we have unemployable youth. So let's just accept it as a problem in our country today and something that we must live with. What can your business do? Let's assume you were trying to fill a position and you have about 20,000 people apply, about 19,000 of them totally unemployable. Do you just feel comfortable sending everybody back? Or is there a sort of training, something to help them? Because we know this is a deficit from our university educational system. Is there something you can do? The world today is looking to us for IT. Is there anything at all you can do so that these youths, when they leave you, you don't take them, you don't absorb them. Other companies can actually then absorb them and they will no longer be labeled unemployable.
Thank you very much. I was going to come to that. We don't shut the door on anybody in Oxford. We actually have two wings of employees. We have the full staffs, those are the administrative staff rather. They are the professionals that are trained for the jobs. Then we have the referrals, we call them associates. Now, everyone that comes to Oxford, if we find that, you are not probably skilled for this job, we move them to the other side. We equip them, we do trainings, we have orientation programs.
So let's pause on because I want to really go back to your career. You as a person, yes.
Okay. So I wanted you to answer a specific question because most people don't understand how to grow in the corporate sector. And we have you here. We've seen your growth. What were the things you did for the company that made you, what were the highlights of your achievements that you think made you step up? How did you solve the problems? Okay,
I'll start with structural reformation. When I came on board, I sat down, I looked at the previous GC, who is the chairman, had done exceptionally well. But I knew that coming on board, we could do some things, better. We could increase, of course, expand and all of that. So I looked at the structures and then we did some reformation, adjustments, re-strategization too. And we changed some of our strategies, we changed some of our approaches to the market because we realized that everyone selling real estate is going about it the same way. So we brought about some investment packages that could make you, save up to own. Housing deficit is one of the major issues we came on board to solve. So we changed our strategies, we changed our approaches. Yes, we changed our approaches.
We have to wrap up, but I see we need to leave, but it's important that I wanted you to touch a bit on emotional intelligence in the workplace, knowing what to do, because we see a lot of young people today, millennials, they don't understand what to do.
I can't take it.
They don't have the staying power. They don't have that staying power. So I want you to advise young people, especially because we have to wrap up with you.
Okay.
How do you, when you come into a corporate organization, what are the ethos you should begin to adopt?
Okay. When you come into a corporate organization, I think the first thing is you need to work on your mindset. because there's this mindset, there's this residual mindset of, oh, let me just get the job done. One of the things we do at Oxford is that it's a people-owned organization. Everybody, you own the business. There's this sense of ownership. So when you come into the workplace, you bring your A game on board. You don't wait for someone to tell you what to do. You're supposed to know what to do and to get it done. So when you come into the workspace, like, let me use myself. When I came in, I understood that, oh, you are a woman on this seat. You have family, you have pressure, you have this mindset that, oh, she's not going to deliver. So there is a need for you to sit down. Then on emotional intelligence, I would say that emotional intelligence is a skill that you can also learn.
Yes.
I've paid a whole lot to actually learn emotional intelligence, because you say to yourself, oh, I'll be calm. Then when the situation comes up, you just say, oh, I thought I read a book yesterday. So it's a skill that you can learn. At times you have to take practical steps, put stick notes on your wall. This is how I want to react to situations. This is how I want to...
Unfortunately, thank you so much, Precious. I think we learned quite a bit from you. Yes. It was important to have that conversation with you, because when we hear Nigerians stealing or allegedly stealing, it kind of depresses some of us that are working hard. So when we now see people like you doing well, who are stars amongst us, it's good for us to project you, to remind Nigerians that there are stars amongst us who work their way up and need to be celebrated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We're going to go on a break. When we come back, invite yet another guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, we'll be discussing the royal perspective to the highly controversial 10-point communique, popularly known now as the Asaba Declaration, that was issued by the Southern Governors Forum on the state of the nation. Joining us now on the show is the Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Abdulrasheed Adewale Akombi. Welcome to the show, sir.
You are. Thank you.
Welcome to the show. You can call us on 081-270-53687, also 091-390-76948. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Your View TVC so we can read your tweets. Kabisi, welcome to the show, sir. Again.
You are. Thank you.
Now, I know that when this communique came and there was an outright declaration on the ban of open grazing, and I then remember that during that time when Sunday Igboho came out and you were you were saying that the Fulanis live amongst us and that they live peaceably with us, that there shouldn't be any reason to ask anybody to leave. So if we look at that with this new proclamation by the Southern Governors, do you still believe it was right for them to make that open declaration that says no open grazing in the south part of Nigeria?
Good morning. Actually, I want to commend TVC. Despite the NSAS attack, they were still able to come back. Yeah, and I really appreciate. That's very good.
Thank you, sir.
I commend you. And I've seen some of your officials that are workers that are wounded, some of them. And I just pray that God will uphold.
Amen.
I had a summit yesterday, which was like a summit among Fulani herders and the farmers. And what we came out is that you can see when we are talking about ranching, open grazing and everything, then the average Fulani man doesn't know what that is. These people live in the bush. They don't, the average Fulani herders, they live in the bush. They don't know what is. So you have to take them through a process. Take them through this process. We are all Nigerians. We have to think about each other. You know, if you were the tribe in that kind of situation, when you are talking about Yoruba, Fulanis should go this place, Fulanis, the old tribe is the criminal. We have criminals in all ethnic tribes. So it's now possible for you to just criminalize one tribe. And that's when I see little female children, little kids, their wives being driven and stuff like that. I was like, wow, no, this is not who we are. As Yorubas, we are not wicked like this. You don't, yeah. There are many Nigerians doing stuff outside the country. And today, in America and everywhere, today, Nigeria is the Deputy Secretary Treasury. And we have Nigerians in jail who committed many crimes. They didn't say Nigerians are criminals. A criminal is a criminal. A bandit is a bandit. And so what we do here is you have to take the Fulani through a process, which is what I propose to them is that if you guys are 100, let 50 out of you go for another business, which is stacking, which is to collect the grass. The grass which you are taking the cow to go and eat and go for miles, you yourself go for the miles and take the grass and bring it to the cow. This is the process you have to take an average Fulani man to, and the government, it has to be an intervention program for the government.
Okay,
so, the Southern governors said, actually, they made it clear that they are not saying that people or a particular ethnic group should leave. That they are talking about the criminal elements.
Yeah, the criminals.
Yeah, the criminal elements in that group. So, and then, but you know, now listening to you, I wonder, do you think that that meeting would have been better served if traditional leaders were involved? Because you're closest to the people. You understand the visitors and what they do. Do you think in their conversations concerning open grazing, concerning who may be the criminal elements in the communities, is better done if you're part of these conversations?
It's not only about where this country is right now. We need especially the paramount rulers in Nigeria, in Yoruba land, we need for them to be recognized constitutionally. The local aspect of it, the governor can take care of the states, the traditional rulers should take care of the local side. I take care of the security in my domain, everything out, your domain must be better, development-wise, everything-wise. Everything is on the neck of the traditional ruler. But we have it's like a dog without no teeth. And the government must recognize the traditional rulers, especially the paramount ones, because we have many traditional, but the paramount rulers, they need to be recognized constitutional, and it is now, not even later, because this is getting out of hand. The politicians cannot do this by themselves. They can't do it alone. It's not possible.
Okay, so the political meeting that the communique was to ban open grazing across the southern belt. And the reason for that is we cannot identify the good from the bad. But if we eliminate everybody and let only legitimate businesses ranch their cattle, and we register those businesses, when we see anyone not within their business district, we can identify them as being criminals because they're not conforming with the laws of the environment.
No, you can't do that.
And according to, and I'm not the spokesperson, but we interviewed the governor for Ondo State last week after the meeting, and those were the feedback he gave us. Then he also mentioned that the reason for this is it's been a really cumbersome process to secure the environment. You are saying there are other ways that this could have been managed better. What has there been a meeting between all the traditional rulers of the southern area to come up with their own suggestion of how we can better secure this belt?
Unfortunately, in the Yoruba side, which is the southwest, we don't have a Yoruba Council of Obas. So we only have states. So every state takes care. But I take care of my own domain. I'm talking about my own domain. And it can be a pilot project for Nigerians. And that's what I do. I make sure my community is well, safe, peaceful, and secure.
But I want to go back to Otokwe's first question, sir, because it's important.
Our question, why I said no.
Of the fact that how else could they identify, remove the criminals from those who do legitimate business?
The only way the only solution in this country is this country should be a police state. This police state, what I'm talking about, the unemployed youths in Nigeria today, we need to create an employment front in the security area. employ 5 to 7 million police, custom, immigration. We need to man our borders. Our borders is porous, it's very free. We have over 1,000 kilometers of border from Niger down to the Atlantic by Benin. How many borders are there? Then again, why we need to make this country a police state? Like Germany, when you get to Germany, they ask you, Ausweis bitte. Where's your identity? In Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, they ask you, carte d'identité. They want to know who you are. If you don't have a tribe here, if you don't have no family contacts here or anything, there must be a database for Nigerians. This country is on the edge of going to collapse if we don't take. We have foreigners. These foreigners, they are remnants of Gaddafi. Gaddafi's mercenaries, terrorism. Gaddafi did a lot bad to Africa than any other president. Gaddafi was collecting mercenaries from everywhere. Charles Taylor is a product of Gaddafi. He trained them. Prince Johnson of Liberia is Fode Sanko of Sierra Leone is a product of Gaddafi. He has these mercenaries since the 80s. That anybody from anywhere in Africa, he brings them in, sponsor them, and he's the one feeding them. Anybody who wants to have a coup against any country in Africa, Gaddafi takes them in. And this is what is causing problem. He has harmed them. He has given them enough money. But when Gaddafi now passed, the locals are now driving those people away. And those people, that's a state cache of arms. So most of them move down to the only country that they know that has porous borders, that is not small. The only country they know is Nigeria.
So when the governors then say, everybody stop open grazing, because they are coming in, yes, but they are coming in the disguise of herding cows. So your governors are now saying, everybody first of all leave. Now, according to Governor of Ondo State, let us register those who are doing legitimate business. So why is that a problem for you? Why do you think that wouldn't work?
Let me come in from that. They didn't come in as herders.
Okay.
They came in as mercenaries and terrorists. But the people they met in the bush are the herders. The herders live in the bush. So even what we are talking about now, the Fulani in Nigeria cannot contain them. It's out of their league. These people met them there and said, shut up. You're in the bush here. Nobody is taking care of you. You don't have water. You don't have anything. We have weapons. You see, Nigeria needs the president, actually, right now. He needs to create this employment to fight back, which is the police force, the army, everything. He needs to create that employment for our own people to be able to defend these borders. No, we can't say everybody should defend themselves and put guns in everybody's hand in Nigeria. That would be bad. That would be the worst thing ever. So what they need to do now is these same Fulanis, we still need them, those ones in the bush. We still need them for them to give us information for those people, but we need to at least take care.
That's if they're not already radicalized.
Yeah, because you see one thing, terrorism is very, very attractive to the unemployed. Unemployed, poor Nigerians, believe me, when they know you will have a gun in your hand, they can kidnap women for you. You can have your food. You will also have money from banditry and kidnapping. People are so much attracted to that. And that, if we let that go for more time than this, we are in trouble in Nigeria. We in the cities are not even safe. Nigeria the president needs to act now.
In response to this, the regions have started calling for self-recognition. Some are calling for secession completely. There's so much insecurity in the land. What is your take on the Yoruba nation being called for in Southwest? And is there a voice, a common voice, for the Obas within the Southwest on the Yoruba nation? Are you in agreement or against?
Well, one thing I see about that is that this Nigeria, is the hope of all black race. This is the most populous country in the whole of not only just Africa,
the
most populous black nation. We are holding this, our diversity is our strength. We need to keep this and find a way to resolve our internal problems. Nigeria is so beautiful and so great, but the problem is just, believe me, this country it will be the greatest country one day.
Yeah, I believe.
We are smart people. We are great people. But we tend to oppress our future. The leaders oppress their own future. So the future is being oppressed and suppressed. So it means in 30, 40 years' time, if we don't take care of it now, we will still be oppressed people. And Nigeria should not break apart. If there's a problem, we can resolve it. And when people are talking about when Yoruba nation, Fulani should go, is it only Fulani in Yoruba here? We have the Igbo here. Are we sending Igbos away? Are we sending, how many people are we sending? How many of these ethnic?
Non-Yoruba.
So, and if you say only Fulani, then that's another thing. That's ethnic cleansing and bias. And this can lead to a chaos in this country. And then this country can't stand that.
Let me be sure I get you so that we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
You're saying that Nigeria is the biggest, strongest black nation in the world.
Not biggest. In terms of size, Nigeria is not big.
No, I'm talking about population.
In population,
I'm talking about population. That's what I meant,
populous,
actually. Yeah. And we must take pride in that strength that we have.
Yes.
And we have an opportunity to be one of the greatest nations in the world.
Yes.
And this issue we are having is such that it's not our fault. The Nigerians are not fighting each other, if I hear you right. Yeah. What you're saying is that the real criminals in the bushes are coming from outside.
Yeah.
What we need to do is engage our people who are cattle herders
in the bush.
In the bush.
That they met first.
Engage them,
yes.
Equip them to defend themselves and to defeat the enemy.
No.
Defend our borders.
No. Okay. I'm not telling you to let the Fulani defend our borders.
Okay.
We just need information from there.
Yes.
Okay.
What I'm saying is employ.
Employ them.
These, no, not Fulanis only. Employ Nigerians.
Yes.
The unemployed Nigerians now, if you don't have any employment opportunity for them in other places, we need our security now.
Right.
So the employment that should be created now is to our security.
Yes, for the borders.
This country should be a police state where we started asking for everybody's identity.
Gotcha.
A police country.
Yeah.
We start asking, and then there must be death penalties. You see, countries that are great, countries that are great. Go and look at Singapore, Saudi Arabia. You can't commit crime, all these crimes there. People are scared to. How do you do it? Even in America, there's death penalty in Texas, in Mississippi, in many other places. In Georgia. Why we can't have death penalty and then implement it? Let people see it. Give them viewers' discretion is advised. And do what? What do you do?
Execute.
Execute. You execute some people, kidnappers, corruption should be punishable. This country right now, the way we are, we must be brutal. We have animals who are walking as humans on the street. We have people who believe using humans for money. You cut somebody's hand for money making, kill him. Let there be death penalty. Let there be and implement those. Death penalty, let it be shown. Let people go to the beach and see that if you commit this crime, if you do any kidnapping or you kill somebody, you will be killed straight. And believe me, you will see how crime will go down. And then secure our borders by employing more. These are the things. These are the bane of the society. A great society must come from it. Singapore today went from non-developed country to a developing. Today, Singapore is developed.
Yeah. It's okay.
Okay, so the thing is, these ideas, I strongly feel that it should have crossed the minds of our leaders because they are saddled with the problem.
Well, sentimental, Tope. We like sentiments.
Like it should have crossed their mind. On this show, we've spoken about it consistently. There are some offense, rape cases, they should be castrated, this kind of thing. But we're not having those firm laws. But the other side of employment...
Let's have a conversation. Our president came out and said, shoot aside. All of us educated elite. How can he say that? No, I'm just saying, he was saying shoot aside those with AK-47.
Yeah.
Yes. And those of us that went to school, how can he say it's against human rights violation? We are the ones that will speak against it. So what do we want? Are we going to be on the sentiments? Do you want them to shoot aside somebody who is carrying AK-47? Yes or no? So that's the question.
I think that at the end of the day, considering how terrible this country is, we need drastic. Everybody knows we need a drastic approach to solve the problem. 100%. And the president already said that he can't do this because he's in a democracy. So we understand that there are some elements of laws holding people bound. And then there's lack of political will to even solve most of the problems. But currently, it is lack of funds that will be the excuse. If you ask now, let's employ people, they say, we don't have the money. We've not even paid salary of those that are on ground. Yeah. So how do we pay the salaries if we now employ more people? We have been struggling to do NIMS, the NIN. We've been unable to do it. That would have helped in terms of policing, and everybody has an identity card that we can use to monitor what is going on.
They politicize that now, saying that...
Now they've turned it into...
somebody who is an apologist, a terrorist apologist, is the one heading.
Yes.
So now all these colorings comes into this kind of conversations.
Exactly.
We don't get
so the reason for shoot at sight became political was because people felt that police officers, military men might abuse it to execute people.
People will abuse that.
So when you say this, let's do public execution, how are we sure that it will not once again be abused?
No, that one cannot be abused. Because
there's a trial.
There's a trial, there's a criminal. And fast, not like detained without trial or something like that. You get him on site. Fast track. Boom. Kill some. Before you kill 10 people in this country who are criminals and bandits, and corrupt officials, before you go and look at China. You dare not steal money. You dare not commit those things. There are many people, they take them out fast. The animals need to be taken out of men.
Human beings can walk.
Yeah. So, talking about corruption.
You have to separate the chaff from the wind. They are humans who are walking animals. We can't, this country is not, we are not civilized yet.
Talking about corruption and your stance on how it should be dealt with, many people will say then there will be no one left because there are so many accusing fingers that have been pointed to different people in the political sphere. Even traditional rulers have somehow been roped in this story, you know.
Yes.
So who will do the catching and the executing?
I can tell you, I'm not corrupt. I never took nothing from my people. I never stole nothing. I never sold one plot of land. Doesn't matter. Let's start from here. When China did it on all the other things. Yes, when Russia started what's it called, capitalism now, all the gains of socialism went to some people, but then you start a new nation from now on. People, what they have done in the past, you can, some, if you can tell them because of the love of this nation, bring the money that you stole back. But we can't keep on saying we would put all our resources in fighting the crime committed back. That has been done. Wild West. From now on, we start a new nation. A new nation free of corruption. We need to start now. This is the future. Today is our future. And we start building the future right now, today. Implement those laws. Enforce those laws. Kill some people. If this country, we're not playing anymore. Because if you don't do this thing, our youths that you want to oppress their future, they will take laws into their hands. Anarchy will reign.
Right.
We don't want anarchy. We need to let them know that our leaders can take care of this. the President, Muhammadu Buhari, needs to step up to the plate right now.
All right, let me take this call from Yakub. Yakub, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Ryan, yeah.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
And good morning to Royal sir. Good morning, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mariah, I totally agree with the king this morning when he was saying that we need to take all this Fulani to a process. Because the people that are calling for Yoruba nation, I am speaking now, I'm from your state, I'm a Yoruba, and then I don't want to go. I still want to belong to Nigeria as an entity. So how many of them calling for the Yoruba nation? There are few people. What I totally agree with the king is this. I want to give a typical example here. I have a brother that has a cow. And then this cow, he was managed by a Fulani person. This Fulani person was living among us almost 20 years now. And then do you know that the ranching of a thing, as King rightly said earlier, this guy does not even know what called ranching. Yeah. And then this guy called my brother that it's like you will leave the cow for him because my brother has almost 80 cows. And then was not calling my brother that it's like he's going to leave this cow because they were telling them to leave. My brother said why? He said that they are talking about something that they will not rear the cow again. What are they talking about? Until my brother begins to tell this guy that this is what they need. The guy said, okay, it is even good for him because his children cannot even attend a school. If my brother can be paying him salary, he will likely that so that we will not move him from our village down to Ilorin, from Ilorin to Niger State. And then every 2 years, we will come back to our village. So even sometimes, we will call my brother that 1 or 2 cows lost. So
Hello? I think we got it.
Yeah.
That's another perspective. That's another perspective.
We have lots of
Brother Geshin Olarinwaju says, how I wished other royal fathers, elder statesmen, politicians, ordinary Nigerians could reason this way. We just have to come together and work like one big family. Samuel says, tell Oba that the rat in the bush told the rat outside that there is fish in the pot and the owner is asleep. He's trying to allude to the Fulani headsmen are inventing, they inviting each other that, you know, this is a free country and the arrangement of the bush.
Right, okay.
So, Honorable Ademola says, I totally agree with the KBC that strict punishment should be meted on certain crimes committed to serve as a deterrent to those who commit them. The current situation in the country demands urgent and strict measures, or else there will be a breakdown of law. Samuel N. said an Oba proposing the China method, laughing my...
So if we look at it...
he doesn't agree.
If we look at it in the past, if we look at even the Western education of the Western world, even in the early stages of the democracy, they were doing stuff execution. They were part of the public execution. Yes. It was over the years that the democracy got strengthened because the people had become civilized and understand the rule of law. But in the early days of their democracy, there were these kind of things we were talking about. So maybe where we are really, because we are getting a situation where we don't want to implode.
Yeah. It is when you develop...
I'm not saying I agree with you, but is that I can see your perspective. Yeah. But are there other ways? Because even our president has expressed his frustration that when I was a military ruler, I know what I would have done. But as democracy, I must go through the process.
Listen,
you know what are we doing? Are we following
America in the 60s, when you commit a crime, they even put you everywhere, wanted, dead, and alive. When they catch you, they hang you straight. That's how they sustain their democracy.
Nigeria
you must be hard at the first. When you become developed, that's when you amend the laws. Even the amendment that came, they still have death penalty. So it's not possible for you to say you want to build a developing nation.
When the mental is still...
But we are already, our laws, our system, our justice system is at a point where we can only but grant a person his total fair hearing in court. I think the only way out is speed up trials.
Speed up,
But in Nigeria till date, even when the president came in...
prisons, Nima.
No,
in this country.
I'm saying
you speed up trial, you put them in prison, and somebody will blow it up for political reasons. So I hear you.
So when you catch that person that blew up the prison, what Oluwo is saying is that a strong deterrent is to execute that person publicly.
But do you know my own problem? That means we're trusting that the person that is supposed to enforce this is
Would not be
himself
partial.
not corruption. And right now, we will tell you, sir, and I know you're in Nigeria, you know what the state of the nation is right now. Who are the people that we can confidently call and say, these are the people we trust that will enforce it without any bias? People have been lied against, we know. People have been called and painted all sorts of names because they do not have anyone to back them up. We know that people that have money can get justice or divert justice. Who do we trust?
There's a saying that say, like, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. Yes, people have been disappointed in the system before. But are we still going to be beating a dead horse? Or where do we move from here? We're trying to move forward. We're not trying to think about what happened before. There must be a solution. Solution is now. Let's start from here. You say you don't, the way we try, okay, fund the police more. Let the police who is securing our lives, don't let them be taking peanuts of 30,000, 50,000 per. You have to, the police should be...
Let me link that to the issue of restructuring. People are saying devolution of powers, having state policing. Do you agree with that? Because those who are saying, there are some people saying restructuring, self-determination, not to leave Nigeria. Let's be clear, there's a difference. Self-determination just says that we are now a group and a recognized group. Do you think restructuring is necessary, and do we need to dissolve power?
No, devolution of powers is what I agree with.
Okay.
Now, talking about any other restructuring, that's too much of a word to use. Restructuring might go more.
It can mean different
things. What of resource control, sir? What of resource control?
Resource control, then you're not your brother's keeper in the country.
Resource control and royalty. We're in a federal system.
There must be love. Hold us together, that white diversity. There are many other places that has this. One doesn't have that. We depend on each other.
Can I come in here? To develop that love. You don't wake up and love. Love is grows. So for me to love, so you have something, I don't have it. If I see you building on that thing, and I build on my own thing, everybody holding your resources, and gradually we now respect each other. Based on that respect I have of you and you have of me, then we cannot say, let us now collaborate. But if we're not allowing me to grow my own thing, you are now allowing, somebody else is in charge. I don't respect, you can't just flip a switch and say, respect me so that I can give you my own resources. So I think that's what we're saying, that let each region control their resources, develop at their own pace. Therefore, then gradually they now begin to contribute willingly.
Now, it's not a bad idea, but what I'm still saying is that the way devolution of powers work, resource control is something we have to talk about. It's a very wide something. So I want. All
right.
Okay.
I know you were in. You participated in the Liberia, right?
Yeah.
And I'd like you to tell us
at the early stages.
At the early stages. I'd like you to give us, because those who are saying war. I want you to explain to them your experience in Liberia.
When there's war, the only people that there is what is called, you don't have children anymore. Your children, they've gone many places. You are not even trying to hold your child, even your baby. A governor, a president can become a refugee in the nearby country. There's no food. No cars move anymore. No cars. You move, you die. There is no more water, no more electricity, because those are the first things they blow up. War is a kind of spirit that comes over people when it overtakes. There is nothing anymore. What they want is like, do you know the way prisoners that have been sentenced to life in jail, do you know the way they think? They think like, let this whole world be destroyed and only me come out. Rape. People eat each other. You decide, when you're so hungry, you decide on who to cook. Kill and cook. There is nothing working, and you don't have no more clothes. Nothing. Imagine Nigerians becoming refugees in nearby country. Imagine they have to be dropping food for you from the sky before you eat, and that's United Nations. So it's too much of what you don't even want to imagine it, what war is. No husband, no wife, no children. Forget about children. Nothing works anymore. No school. Look at Liberians, all the way from Liberia. It's not the next country to this place. Do you know that those people became refugees in Ijebu here? You have to bring them with ship loads. Without no clothes, nothing. This is people will be telling war. Our father fought war. Which war? War, Kiriji war is a war. Do you know what war is? Jet fighters. Do you know the kind of weapons there is now?
See what happened in Syria.
They have to run, unfortunately. But
I have been in a place where jet fighter is bombing me down, and I have to be like, oh no, don't even think about it.
We've run out of time. But I thank you very much for coming this morning, because sometimes it's important for us to remind ourselves of what the options are. Yes, we're in a democracy. And you've given us a few options. I hope our leaders are listening. We'd like to also engage other intellectuals and see other options available. I mean, it can't be just one-way street. There's got to be other options. But let us continue to talk and engage each other, because at the end of the day, we want our country.
Yes.
We are all Nigerians.
Yes.
And it's important that our children see this country as it is. That's all we can take on the show today. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye for now.